What's good, y'all? So I just wanted to check in, man. It is currently Thursday. This week has been hectic, man. So let me give y'all some game, man. I'm gonna just hop straight into it. This is probably gonna have to be devoted to a total bro talk, but for now, I'm gonna just drop it in the snippet, and if you get it, man. What I want to tell y'all, man, is you have to be able to think ahead and see what's coming and understand trends and currents and energy, man. And I don't say that in like a esoteric pseudoscience type of way. I mean that in the most literal sense possible. Like, you have to be able to read the body language and the energy around the people that are in your vicinity. Whether that's professionally or personally, you got to be aware of your situations and your circumstances at all times, because you never know when a scenario or a situation is going to happen, and you got to be on point, and you got to be able to turn it on and address what's happening and realize the circumstances. Because a lot of times people are not paying attention and they end up getting blindsided or ambushed by situations, and they don't have their ducks in order because they can't seem to read the room. When I think about things like this, the best example I could think of, and I like to give examples from movies and TV shows because those are things that are uniform. You can instantly put it in and watch it and compare. So in The Wire, I want to say it was the last season, Michael, one of the young boys, spoiler alert too for The Wire, which if you haven't seen The Wire, which is almost a 30-year-old show, then you are really tripping. But anyways, so Michael, one of the young boys who was growing up in the game, you know what I'm saying, he had a mentor, and that mentor was Chris. And Chris always told him that you need to arrive to jobs early. And I believe I talked about this in one of my other videos on professionalism. You need to be on time. But anyways, Chris told Michael that he needed to be early whenever he was about to get somebody, because when you're early, you can case out the scene, you can set things up the way you need to, and you can prepare. And if you're on time, that means you're meeting the other person there, and if they got there early, they can set you up or whatever the case may be, but you need to get there early. And so it got to a point where somehow or another the word came down that they were going to try to get Michael out of there, and they used the setup saying that they were going to take him on a hit. Well, Michael got there early, and he knew what time it was. He knew that they were going to try to get him, but because he got there early, he was able to see the scene and lay out the things and prepare, and it saved his life. So I say that to y'all, man, because I got some stuff going on right now, which is why I haven't been doing the daily vlogs or the every other day vlog, and it's been more of a weekly format just because everything's going on right now with the baby coming and us moving and just buying that truck. You know, there's a lot going on right now, but even while all of that's going on, I still have to make sure that my head is on a swivel at all times, because I know that people are looking for weakness and they're looking for opportunities that they can try to exploit and catch me slipping and take advantage of me. And it may sound crazy, but I'm telling you, it happens all the time. So like, you have to be super hyper aware of everything. You know what I'm saying? Another example, Breaking Bad, there's another character. His name was Mike. Something about these Michaels, man. Guy's name was Mike Ehrmantraut, and he was another hitman. And so Mike came home, and it was just the littlest thing. I think he saw something that was out of place at the crib, and so he knew somebody was in his house. And again, it was another hit attempt, but because he knew his house and he had it set up so particular, he was able to find every little detail, and he knew that somebody was in his house, where somebody that wasn't paying attention would have got caught slipping. And you know, I probably shouldn't say this, but you know, I'm on everything, you know, even to the point where if we in the car and my wife moves one charger and puts in another car charger, well, I'm asking, why'd you switch out the car charger? Or if this isn't there, and I try to work on it, you know what I'm saying, but once you really get hyper focused, it's hard to turn it off, personally or professionally. But you know, it saves your life. So always make sure, and I wish I could go into detail, I can't right now, but this is just something that I'm going to have to save in my mental Rolodex, so one day later on down the line I can break it down and explain it to you guys. But basically in a nutshell, I knew that something was gonna happen because this is how the universe works. And again, I don't want to get too esoteric or get too pseudoscience-y because that's not this platform. There's plenty of other people that go down that road. You know, I focus on practicality. You know, my pro-black is practical. You know what I'm saying? So, but there's just certain truths that can't be ignored. And I was telling my wife about 2 weeks ago, we're about to go through a lot of changes, you know, between the baby and moving and all of the stuff that I just listed just now. Like, we're about to go through a lot of stuff, and we're leveling up and we're advancing, which is a good thing. But just be ready, because something bad is going to happen. And we're going to be okay. It's not going to be an issue. But because we're adjusting and we're reaching a new level, something's going to happen that we weren't prepared for. And it happened. And I'm like, see, I told you. You know what I'm saying? And she was laughing and joking. But I'm like, no, I told you. I knew this was going to happen because this is just how it is. You know, when you level up, I think Grant Cardone talks about it in the 10X rule. When you level up, problems come because where you were and where you're going aren't necessarily aligned. Because when you level up, you're at a new level. For example, when you graduate from high school, you immediately drop down to the bottom of the next level. So even though it's a high because you've just accomplished something and you graduated, really you start off at the bottom of the barrel because now you're in the adult world and you're competing with people that have skills, people that have experience, people that have knowledge, expertise, all of that, and you're just brand new. Same thing when you graduate from college. You know, the pool gets a little smaller, but it's still a very big pool because there's a lot of people that have already graduated from college that are trying to do the same thing that you do. So now you're at the bottom of the barrel because you don't have the experience that they have. Yeah, you have the degree and you may have better grades, but you don't have the time and the skin in the game to actually be where these people have been and do what they've done. So you're at the bottom of the barrel. Same thing when you get your master's. Yeah, you graduated and the pool gets smaller, the percentage gets lower, but you're still at the bottom of the barrel of people that have masters with experience. And the higher you go, the bottom, you still end up at the bottom of the barrel because you've graduated into a new class. A higher class, yes, but still a class. And you're at the bottom of that class. I hope it translates and I hope it makes sense, but I just knew that this month right here was going to be crazy because we were doing so much at one time and a whole lot of movement and momentum, and things were just going to start falling apart and breaking down. I knew it was coming, and so I was able to get my mindset mentally prepared for it. And in certain ways I wasn't, because I haven't been sleeping for like the past week and a half now. You know, I haven't been able to get to the gym as much as I like to because I haven't been sleeping and my body is atrophying. And you know, I got sick the other day because lack of sleep and my body functions has just been thrown off, but I knew it was coming, you know what I'm saying? So it is what it is, but hopefully, like I said, this message reaches one person and they take heed and they listen and they learn from this and they learn from my words and they don't learn through their own experiences, because we can save so much time if we learn from other people's experiences, or we at least keep in mind other people's experiences and then they apply their knowledge to our lives. I'm gonna give y'all one more example and then I got some stuff that I gotta run and do because I gotta spend some time with the family, Grandma Donna, and blah blah blah. So my best friend right now is currently in the process of trying to get his home builder's license, and he didn't pass the test twice. You know what I'm saying? I don't think he'd mind me saying that, but you know, he realized that, hey, you know, I might need to look at and get some outside coaching or some additional help because I really need to get this done and I don't have time to worry about pride or ego. I just need to get this done. And so I'm currently in the process of getting my home inspector's license so that I can kind of maneuver the way that I need to. And with that being said, me knowing that he failed his builder's inspection, his builder's license twice, and I'm going for something very, very similar in as far as the scope of what's expected in order to pass, you know, I'm like, you know what? I'm not even going to do what you did and try to do it myself. I'm gonna study and I'm gonna make sure that I pass everything, the basic requirements, but then I'm gonna take the class before I take the test so I don't have to fail it twice. You know what I'm saying? And we have to be able to have those uncomfortable conversations, and we have to bear all, and we have to be honest with each other so that way we can prepare and we can do what we need to do. You know, a lot of people go through traumatic situations and they don't like to talk about it because they're embarrassed or whatever the case may be. And really, you know, you end up hurting the people around you as well, because your testimony, I hate to use that word, but your testimony could have made somebody else's life easier. But because you're embarrassed or because you don't want to speak on it, somebody else is going to have to suffer the same fate that you're suffering because you didn't want to open your mouth and tell. So, you know, that's why I try to be as open and raw and authentic as possible when I'm dealing with y'all. So, you know, hopefully y'all don't make the same mistakes and pitfalls that I make, which is why I'm telling y'all now to keep your heads on a swivel. Pay attention to everything, every single thing, and understand that anything that you leave open as a potential that somebody could use against you, they will. So you got to be formless. You got to make sure that they don't have anything that they could grasp on to where they're literally making things up. And when you're there, you're good, because you have a peace of mind knowing that in this situation, there's nothing that I could have done differently, because clearly they just wanted to target somebody, and it's me, which is cool. I just got to eat that. You know what I'm saying? So that's my soapbox for this one. I'm gonna holler at y'all. Make sure you stay tuned. We got a very, 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 very exciting one for y'all, and I would hate for you to miss it. So make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share, hit that little bell so you can tell. You know what I'm saying? Share so we get it across the air, the whole nine. And I'm gonna holler at y'all in a second. We got a lot coming for y'all. Don't forget, we hit 200 subscribers while I was making this video. Shout out to y'all. I got so much that I'm gonna do for y'all.